Bonjour à toutes et à tous, je suis absolument ravie de vous retrouver pour cette nouvelle vidéo et très honorée de vous présenter aujourd'hui une très grande dame. J'ai l'honneur d'accueillir aujourd'hui Madame Cathrine Sadolin, la fondatrice de la CVT, et je vais lui poser dans quelques minutes quelques questions sur son parcours, sur la technique en elle-même et quelques petits secrets que nous réserve la CVT. Avant tout, bienvenue à chacun d'entre vous. Je vous rappelle de vous abonner à la chaîne, simplement de liker la vidéo et évidemment cette interview va être en anglais. Ne vous inquiétez pas, je vous ai prévu des petits sous-titres pour que vous puissiez suivre au mieux cette interview. Bonne écoute. So I'm super happy to do this super interview with you. Thank you very much.
Likewise.
I'm honored to have you today. It's such a privilege for me to be able to have a talk.
You're too kind.
Talk. Thank you very much. And I think I'm speaking for the whole world of singers and speakers. Thank you very much for this amazing technique. And there is also Matthias in the room. Thank you for all the research. You did a crazy work. So thank you very much for all you did.
Thank you.
Tell me if I'm right.
Yeah.
I have some question. At the very beginning, you were not the one who had the gift to sing.
No.
And above all, you had some breathing problems, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, you were determined to find a solution to achieve this sound you were aiming for.
Yes.
What a positive message.
Well, it was, I wouldn't really know if it was positive. It was like I had no choice. I just wanted this so much. Yeah. And then I couldn't do it. You know, I have asthma all my life. And it was such a hard work, and to get all the high notes, low notes, I couldn't do anything. I had trouble breathing. So when I started, I had 5 notes and they were all hoarse.
Only 5.
So it was, and I was breathing like this. So it's, you know, by learning and working with the breath, it's got better as well.
Wow.
So, but I have had lots of voice trouble. Of course, when you can't sustain it with a lot of breath, it's getting more difficult. But I found out that if I'm doing it the right way, it gets easier. And then I can gradually achieve what I wanted to do. Yeah. And then when you know, okay, you are kind of told when you're right and when you're not. Exactly. And then you can work on the right path. Exactly. So in that way, I think it's been an advantage because I found out when I was doing it wrong, then I coughed and it sounded horrible and I couldn't do it. And why maybe more normal people that, well, they could do it anyway, but I just couldn't. So I had to really be strict on getting my technique correct in order to get the sound out.
Strict? It's not a nice word, but actually it's giving some courage and some, let's say, nice news to all that people who are thinking that it's could never be possible to sing, or that it's only a gift from life or from above, or no, singing could be just working, isn't it?
Absolutely. I believe if I can learn to sing, everybody can learn to sing. So it's nice. And I know I've seen it. I haven't seen anyone who couldn't learn, you know, because it is, after all, technique. We all have more or less the same larynx, so if we're doing it correctly, we can actually get the sound we want.
Wow. Very nice. I remember the first time I put my step into CVI, I was not able to reach my high notes. And I worked so hard before, and actually for my life, it changed a lot because now I'm able to do that crazy notes.
Good word.
Yeah, so it's work a lot, but it's working. Fantastic. My next question is, what gave you the impulse to start this crazy project called CVT?
Well, it was because I couldn't, I wanted to sing. Actually, I was going to a teacher because I wanted to see maybe that could help my breathing. Yeah. And then I got completely blown away how fantastic it was. And I thought, I want to be a singer. And everybody went, oh no! I mean, give it up, it's not possible, and so on. But I wanted to do it, So I tried actually a lot of different teachers, and they all said different things. Some said push out, some said push in, push up, push down. And I was, what am I supposed to do? And then at a point I got nodules, and then I said, okay,
enough.
I am going to figure this out. Wow. So I put myself in a little room with all the encyclopedias and, you know, all the books on anatomy and physiology. And then I started to, well, how does it work? And then I said, oh, now I know why the teacher gave me that advice. Oh, it's because of that muscle. Okay, I should just do it like this. So I don't say that the teacher weren't right. I just couldn't get it because it was not, there was no kind of natural way of doing it for me. So I had to find out, and of course some of the advices were not correct, or you could achieve it in a better way. So gradually, when you know all the anatomy and the physiology, you know how does the voice actually work. You know which muscle goes where. You know, okay, if it feels like this, you are on the right track there. And the beauty thing is that because the voice is such an easy instrument, it means that when you're doing it right, immediately you get the sound you want.
Wow, okay.
And that was kind of the beacon I could stare against.
Yeah.
So, and I just wanted to solve my own problems. That was actually my first idea. If I could solve my own problems so I could become the classical singer I was training for. So that was.
So you were aiming for classical?
Yes, I've been training classical all my life. When I was training, I started very late, they say, at 18. And as I said, nothing worked. So I tried a lot of things, but at a point I moved to London and I studied there with a fantastic teacher, Vera Rocha, she's called. She was teaching all the high-profile opera singers. Wow, and they were up there, and I was completely down here. And I said, why? Can you do this and this? And I had no clue what she was talking about. So I went back home and I studied, this is what you mean. And I tried next time. She goes, yeah, you're right. So like that, you know, it was possible for me to fill out the gap from absolutely nothing to something. And then I could take her advice and, you know, get better that way. Yeah. So just wanting so much to become a singer, that was why I had to do it.
The best motivation ever.
Yeah. And then once I solved it, there was a lot of my friends that were singers that came and say, how would you do this and this? And say, I don't know, but let's think about it. I did this to solve that. I did that. And then it worked for more people. Yeah. And then, you know, I started teaching more and helping more singers. And very soon I went into non-classical things. It's a little crazy to call it non-classical because classical is a little thing. All the rest is non-classical, but we call it rhythmic, you know, or world or whatever. So all the other styles, there were so many more sounds there. And I did the same. Let's see what the anatomy and physiology allows us, and then how can we do it, and then practice. Wow. Practice and trial and error. And I missed a lot of notes. Okay, this is not the way to do it. We have to find a better way. You know, that kind of thing.
So what I heard here is that you create a new way of understanding the voice, more logical. Because in my own experience, classical word is all about, can I say, some imaginative things and auditive things. And what I heard from your story is that you create a new logic link between all of this, can I say, knowledge?
Yeah, but that we have to remember that because before that, why they are very much into, you know, practice, you know, auditive, why they're very much into imagine, they didn't have anything. They couldn't look down. They couldn't see. So they had all these ideas, how does it look and how does it work? And some of it was okay, and some of it was completely way off. You know, but they didn't have what we have today. We have a lot of cameras, we can put down the throat, we can look, we know much more. At that point when I started, you know, all these anatomy books, they were available, but nobody needed this because they kind of felt all right and comfortable, and they learned, you know, if somebody said to the singer, well, sing like this, blah, 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 then the singer could copy. I couldn't, so I had to find out what to do, you know. So it was maybe it was more my trouble, and because I learned how to do a lot of things, I could share that with other people, and they did the same. And all of a sudden, it is like there is a system here. And after some time when we worked, then all of a sudden it is like there is a system. I couldn't quite see what it was, but I got more and more the feeling of a system. And the more I worked with singers, the more I tried to do this. And then, you know, I got, every time they do that sound, they have this vowel. Let me see, could that be correct? And then try with the millions of singers to see if that worked. And, you know, by really working a lot like that, eventually we found out that there was a system, which is fantastic because it makes everything much more easy.
Wow. It's crazy because for me, it's like there is millions of people in the same, could we say in the same posture as you were. Actually, I was not be able to copy any sound from the teacher. And there are a million of singers just in that posture right now. And so CVT could be like an answer to that. So it's
they
very
could
nice.
try, see if it works. But
I'm sure.
Well, yeah, but again, we have to remember there should be room for everyone.
Of course.
And some people would hate to have a logical explanation and talking about physiology. They go, no. They want to have pictures, and that's just as good. Images, whatever. So whatever makes you want to do it or makes you able to do it, that's your way.
I'm curious to know how many people are we in the CVT world as a teacher? Do you know how many we are?
Actually, we have, because you guys are being graduated tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
So tomorrow we are 599.
Wow.
Yes, that's quite amazing.
It's a lot.
And I'm one of them, and I'm actually not authorized. So 598, but I sneak in there.
Okay, and do you know how many countries?
Yeah, I think it's 36 countries, and we are on 5 continents.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's widespread. So this is much fun. We have all the way from China, and we have all the way to America, and, you know, South America. And
very nice.
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Yeah, to spread the same technique and to speak the same language.
Exactly, and that's a good part, because if somebody calls and say, I have this singer and I don't know what to do, we can talk together. Okay, we can ask about this and that, and then we can build on each other. We don't have to, I having the singer now, I am starting all over, the next teacher have the singer. No, we could build upon each other because we have a language, and that is the main importance.
At the beginning, did you find sponsors to help you to start the research? Because I mean, it maybe cost a lot of money, or...
Yes. Well, no.
So
we haven't had any sponsors until 3 years ago, where we got a really nice grant. Everything we've done there has been self-paid. And we finance it, but we finance it together, because the people who come here for teaching, you know, that's a part of you know, they come here for taking courses and books. Everything go together, and we take part of that for research. You know, to make it possible.
Wow, very nice. Okay, I'm impressed.
Well,
a bit more.
Well, actually, you are part of it. We are all part of financing this. So,
very nice.
So that's a good part.
Was there a moment where you were about to give up?
Oh, a million times. A million times.
Things you never did.
Well, actually, I was singing I was gotten better. I was singing in, I think, Belgium, a concert, and my voice broke down again and again and again, which it always does. And then I was so sad, and I went to this teacher, Vera Rocha, I taught about before, and I say, the first time I said, I think I want to give up. this is too difficult. And she looked at me and said, can you? I said, she's absolutely right. Hell no, of course, I cannot give up. It's impossible. I have to keep on because, a lot has already worked.
Yeah.
So why give up there? Then I should have given up at the beginning, So, but sometimes you go, and then you try again. That's how it is, over and over. We all do that,
But do you have something special, a special chocolate or drink, or to keep to keep this motivation, this strength to go on? Do you have something?
The motivation is that I want to solve the problem.
All right.
So I don't think the chocolate or a drink could do me any
No,
good in that
it
part.
was a joke.
Yeah, I know. No, so it's just simply, it must be possible.
Wow.
I try, but sometimes it doesn't work, and then you have to say, okay, I'm maybe not right. Then I have to keep on working. Maybe we haven't found the right solution yet.
Yeah.
So we have to work around it. Sometimes it takes many years to solve a thing back then because I didn't know how to attack it. I tried here, definitely not. Here, absolutely not. Okay, what could I do? And I have to leave it, go try again a little later. Aha, I found a little way to go, study some more, and then I found a way.
It's super inspiring, actually.
Thank you.
I think it will be for many people. Super nice. The next question is my favorite one.
Okay.
Could you demonstrate CVT in 30 seconds?
In what? In
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Yeah.
Let's say a minute if you want.
No. We are talking about the sounds.
Exactly. Could you sing something to demonstrate CVT?
So what we are doing is that first of all, we are having the 3 basic principles, the 3 overall principles, where we got to get everything right, with the support, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't have a sound. But when we get to the modes, as we call it, we have one mode which is called neutral, which is kind of soft, doesn't have any metal on the sound. It's like, ooh, yeah, that kind of sweet sound. It can also be like classical, that kind of thing. But it's all in neutral. It's like a sweet sound, if you could say, or not metallic sound. And then we have 3 metallic sound. One of them is a reduced metallic. It's a bit like, oh, poor me, you can say. So this kind is we call curbing, reduced metallic. And then we have a full metallic, which is overdrive. Hey, whoa, a lot of power. And we have edge. Hey, if you really want to be loud. So when you are doing these, obeying the rules we have for each one of these, then you can actually sing what you like. But what you can do in one, you cannot do in another mode. And if you do in another mode, the rules there should not apply to something else. So that's why you need to know the 4 modes and to obey the rules there. And then you can practically sing anything. For neutral, you can sing the softer ones, the high, like powerful, if you want the neutral sound. For curbing, you can do much more like, you could say R&B stuff, that kind of thing. And for overdrive, you could do rock, for instance. And of course, all styles are mixing it. For edge, you would have like gospel and that kind of thing. So you're using all the modes for anything you sing, but certain people are singing more in the neutral way, some people are singing more in a metallic way, and so on. So this will be, the modes, and then you have the sound colors. You can color it dark or light. So if we take an overdrive saying, we can color it darker by making the mouth cavity bigger. So gets darker. We make it smaller, we make it lighter. So that way you can color anything you like from light to dark. And then at the end you can add distortion or growl and creak, everything we call effects. We have 10 different effects, and by all these effects you can actually create any kind of extra sound, extra effect by knowing these 10 effects. So let's say if you want to have a note, you go a neutral. If you want to have distortion on that one, you make a little sound, that one you add together with the sound, you say, ee, ee, and it sounds like you're hurting your voice. Yeah. But you're not hurting the voice because the voice is happily saying, ee, and then the rest above is going, ah.
Yeah.
So like that, you can actually make any kind of, distort or effect on top. Yeah. So the principle is first make it healthy, obey the rules for the modes, give it a sound color, and then if you like, you can put all the dirt on after. But nice. Doing it in a healthy way so it never hurts the voice. That's a trick.
It's very interesting to see that again in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Because many people say, but CVT hurt. It doesn't. Never.
It shouldn't. I would say it shouldn't, because once it starts hurting, then you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Once you are you're getting hoarse, then you can't practice anymore. That means it takes you out of business. So the most important thing when you got your voice going and you've got a career going, it's important to stay healthy so you can deliver night after night after night. Yeah. So that's why it's very important to do it in a healthy way. Yeah. And when people hear "ay," they go, "Woo!" That sounds terrible. But it's just the tone and on top. So when I can take it on, off, so it's just adding it. And when you hear the tone and the together, it sounds like it's really hurtful, but it isn't. Yeah. It's completely safe.
Thank you very much for this amazing demonstration. So, in your mind, where do you think CVT will be in 10 years?
I have no idea.
So, what could be your wish? Your ambition or your...
I don't have any ambition. I don't have any wish. I wish that people can get help with their singing, and that's it. I don't really have any business ambition, and no, I don't know. I don't think that is really. It's not interesting for me. What's interesting for me is to keep on working and to keep on making the techniques better and getting to know more, do research so we know more things. That kind of thing keeps me up at night. I don't sleep because I think it's so interesting. But where we are in 10 years, I have no clue. And I don't waste much sleep on that. Yeah. Because I hope, of course, that we are in business still. But if we aren't, then it's because we're not good enough, and then somebody else should have, should take it away. It should. We shouldn't just be in business because we want to be in business.
Of course,
we should help people. That's the main goal, or at least that was it for me when I started. I was just like, could I get some help somewhere? And I finally found that in all the books, and that's so nice to bring on. When you work with a singer and all of a sudden you see the light, yes, they can do what they couldn't do before. That's the best.
Actually, is the thing that I'm the more impressed with, the humility of everybody in CVI. I mean, in that industry, it's very new, actually, to see all these humble people. So thank you for this, because I think it's a very nice example. And I really want to say that. Because as people getting part of all this project is very nice to walk into this way of humility. So thank you very much for this.
You're too kind.
No, it's not to be kind. It's a fact, actually. Were you expecting this kind of success by creating this institute and technique?
I haven't never, as we talked about before, I haven't really thought about the success as such. Yeah. When we started, first I started teaching, and I had a lot of people coming, and the better it worked for singers, the more people started coming. And in the end, I was like this. I couldn't be everywhere. I had people standing out my door, all the way down. And I was just, how can I do this? And some said, okay, we have to be more people teaching. Yeah. And then there were some people out there saying, yeah, I'm teaching this, and I've never heard about it. And what they said had nothing to do. And they started hurting people's voices. I said, okay, then we have to do something about it. And I started a 3-year course for being authorized. And I had no clue if anybody would come or if it would work. And there was a lot of people coming, and I was really happy. But I said, I've never done this before. I have no clue if I can teach what I'm doing, because it's nothing that I have studied and I can go on. It's just, you know, things that, of course, I've studied anatomy and physiology, but the rest is experience. And can I convey that? I was not absolutely sure. But they say, let's do it together, you know? So you tell me if I suck, and then we have to find out to do it another way. So we started out together, and the 3-year course went really well, and people were really happy. And then when we were finished and these people graduated, I was looking at 20 people who were graduated and say, let's make an institute. And that was actually my brother. He said, you have 20 people there, we make an institute. And I was just, I'm not going to have an institute. Yes, you are. And nobody listened to me at that point, which I'm happy for today. So we made an institute, and the beauty is that we are colleagues, all of us, because we can talk and we can exchange, say, what do you think about this? And one thing I hated when I personally was being a singer, you know, having lessons, that was that sometimes the teachers could be very possessive. This is my student, and
my tricks.
Exactly. And if you wanted to go to another teacher, it was almost like committing adultery, you know. So they had, no, you can't do that. If you go to her, you can never come back to me.
Yeah, I know.
And I was just like, it's never going to be that. So I said, well, every singer at the Institute should have at least 4 or 5 different teachers.
Fantastic.
So no one can say this is my student.
Come on, fantastic.
And that, I think that is so nice that nobody is trying to claim your fame. It is a singer. The singer are doing singing beautifully, and what the singer knows when they come can never be mine or anybody else. It's simply, we are just servants to help the singer in what they want. And being many, we are sure that somebody got it right, you know? So by being 5 teachers, at least somebody must say the right thing. And while we work, now we have worked, it is still the same people who's here. You know, started like 15 years ago. So
20. Christina said yesterday 20 years.
20 years. 20. Yeah, because she's counting the course. Yeah, that's right. Oh, so it's even more. Yeah, you're right. So a lot of, actually almost all the teachers here are back from then. And we are working together. And now when we do research, we are asking these people, so we try it on them because we know their voices, they know their voices, and we can try things out before, you know, getting it in, asking a singer to try it. So we can really run it by ourselves to see if it's safe and okay. And then we can, okay, when we know we got it right, then we can say to the singer, here we have a technique for doing this and this. So this is really great, and thereby we can continue elaborating on what we're doing. And when we do research, where we put camera down people's throat, it is fantastic that we have these brilliant teachers, singers, because they know everything. So you can just, it's not nice to have a camera there and you have to sing something, say, sing this, sing this, sing this, and they just do it like that. That's brilliant.
It's impressive, actually. To be able to do all this stuff with a camera on.
So this is really hard, but because we know them and they know the technique and we all know each other, that we can do that together. And they are so sweet. They participate again and again. So that's really sweet of them.
Yeah, very nice. So Cathrine, I have 2 more questions.
Yes.
I just asked on my social media if people had some questions, and I picked 2. I choose 2 questions for you. The first one is, how can I find my own singing style? Because there is many modes, many sound color, many effects. Okay, this big box.
Exactly.
How can I choose mine?
Yeah, that's interesting, because are we absolutely sure there is one that is mine? I think there are many. So you could choose whatever you like to do. Maybe in the first part of your years you like to sing country, and the second year you want to sing hard rock. And when you know the technique, you can do whatever you like. But there is, of course, also some risk that you might be able to do almost everything, and in the end you forget why you started. Yeah. You forgot why it was, why did you want to sing? Because at the end you can do everything. And that's where the artistry come in. Yeah. And that's where you have to say, well, why do you want to do this? Yes, you can do all this, you can do that, but you might not want it, you might not need it. What is it you want to say? So I would say, find out, first of all, your expression. What is it you want to say? And then find out how is that suitable for what you want to do. For you, it would be singing beautifully and like this. And for me, it could be screaming in distortion. People are different. Yeah. So that's very important that you find what you like and what you find, this now I'm expressing it exactly as I want. Perfect. And of course you can sing different styles. You can sing classical and you can sing hard rock. But of course you need to be equally good at both. And you have to work really hard to get to know more styles. So I'm not sure there is one style.
But you need just to follow what you like.
Absolutely. Take what you like and be sure that you, while you're singing it, are you saying the things you want? Yeah. Is it about what you want? And if it is about making 1 million trills, then go ahead and make 1 million trills. Yeah. You know, it is so difficult to say what will be a hit and what will sell. So, and you can't make everybody happy. So at least make yourself happy and do what you like.
It's the most important thing. I remember a session with a girl, and I'm the logical teacher, you know. I'm like, and at the end she was like, I'm blurry. And I just choose to say, okay, what do you like to sing? Just sing. And at the end, she, was nice again, because we attend, I think, as a CVT teacher now, I attend to be super precise in the technique, because we know many things about the technique. And sometimes I have to remind myself, okay, now music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Emotion, interpretation, and just sing.
Exactly. The audience don't want to hear technique.
Exactly.
No. This is for us, so we take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And so we can do what it is we want to say.
Yeah, very nice. And so my last question is very interesting, because so many people ask me about CVT and said, okay, but why did Cathrine choose modes instead of keeping registers? Because we all know register and we cannot restart something from scratch. So why did you choose, if I can say that, in your technique to use a different word, a different qualification, could I say that?
Yeah.
As terms, and not a register.
Well, the reason why I would love to use old terms that people know. Yep. But if you go and look at what it is people know, you ask what is register, you will get 5 different answers.
More than 5.
So, yeah, you're right. So when people think, I know this, in fact, they are not agreeing. So when they're not agreeing and you're talking to 3 people, they think they are communicating, but in fact they have their own idea and they don't know what each other ideas is. So that means that the communication is polluted. It's polluted because we don't know what we're talking about. And in order to make it clear, there is a lot of things you have to do as a singer. So if the communication also gets polluted, it gets too difficult. So in order to make it clear, we say every term must have one definition.
Super.
Because then we know exactly what it is we're talking about. And then, of course, we couldn't use register because it already had at least 5 different definitions. So we were saying, okay, we had to invent some new words. And also because some of these sounds that we are talking about, curving, overdrive, edge, they are not, they have never been talked about before as individual styles. They have not been recognized as individual modes before. So it's something people call it sometimes modal, sometimes they call it chest, but what if it's high note, is it still chest? You know, there's so much confusion. So we hear in a very detailed way, and we have very specific definitions. And that means that every word have to have their term, where we all know the definition, because then we can talk together. You can say, give me your edge, you know exactly what you don't start in neutral.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea. And we would love to speak the same language, but because the language is so polluted, we have to have a new one. I don't say that my words are the true words. We could call it something else, but at least have a definition on what we're talking, so we can talk about.
Brilliant.
But that was to make it easier. Also, when we are almost 600 people talking together, we have to know what we are talking about.
Of course. Clever, brilliant. Thank you very much, Cathrine.
You're welcome.
So inspiring.
Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. And thank you also again, Matthias, for all your research. Very nice. So, what can I wish you for the future?
Well,
more research?
Well, let's wish each other a happy life.
Of course.
I think that
healthy,
would be...
happy.
That sounds good.
And good memories and good moment. Thank you very much, Cathrine. And long life to CVT and CVI.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cathrine. Un grand merci à tous d'avoir regardé cette vidéo, cette superbe interview de Cathrine. N'hésitez pas évidemment à regarder le site internet cvtresearch.com ou alors completevocaleinstitute.com pour regarder un petit peu tout ce qu'ils proposent, les recherches. Vous avez évidemment un livre, vous avez une application, plein de super ressources qui sont à votre disposition si vous souhaitez en savoir plus sur la CVT. Je vous mets évidemment tout ça en description pour que vous puissiez y avoir un accès rapide. Merci encore une fois d'avoir suivi cette interview. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner, à liker cette vidéo. Et je vous réserve tout de suite une superbe vidéo qui arrive. Merci pour votre fidélité sur cette chaîne et à très bientôt. Croyez en vous, tout est possible.